So welcome back to episode 4 on the tinnie series. This is our second last episode, and in this episode we're going to go through the 12 volt electrics we're going to do. So as shown previously, we've got the ProWave console. We have the switchboard that comes with it. I've already pre-wired this, basically just the rig setup, which is Anderson 50 amp cable, earthing block, marries in. Did that off camera, time consuming. Want to get it 100% right. We've got a nav lights. We've got our anchor light from BCF. We have our LED strip light, as well as, I think that's it. Yeah, cool. I do have the trailer light kits, but that's for the next episode. And this episode, we're just going to be running through just a simple 12 volt setup. So your necessities, like your anchor lights, your nav lights, and an internal line. Because it isn't open, it doesn't really need a bilge pump. It could have one, but that'll be there for future use on the switchboard anyway. So we're going to free it up, and yeah, this should be a quick video. I do have a hardcore battery block in there with a 70 amp hour battery in it. So will that stay with the tinnie? Depending when I sell it. But yeah, stay tuned and let's go. So first things first, let's mount this console up before we get too deep into it. We're going to go for about, I feel like it's a comfortable position if we have that about there. It's not too far out of reach, and if you do want to put a sounder on it, it's not too in your face, too bright, and you'll be able to rotate it and see it from the front. So let's get fixing this on real quick. All you're going to need for this is a drill, 5mm bit, rivet gun, and stainless rivets. I'm lucky enough to own one of these bad boys. Makes it so much easier. I've just done a simple Anderson plug coming down. So this is a switchboard you get when you get the ProWave console, and annoyingly it's a 3-gang, and that comes with an eyelet, so I've snipped that off, put that in a proper connection, heat shrunk it all, and that just runs through to my positive. I've also added in a earth block I got from Anaconda as well. Honestly, it just makes it easier. With all the little, like all the smaller wires, instead of trying to join them in, you add an earth block and then you can just go straight to it. It makes it so much simpler. We'll run this all through. Make sure that that earth block is tucked away up nice and neatly. But that's essentially how that's going to look, and then we'll get that earth block tucked up the inside of it so it's nice and dry and away from all the salt and water that's going to get to it. So now we've got that all screwed off, let's go through the process of getting the nav lights drilled out and the anchor light, so then we can run the wires and go through all that process. So for these ones, I've just gone with just a generic eBay one, nothing fancy. I ran these on a tinnie about a year ago and I loved them. Slim line, little chrome accent, and they're bright. They are very, very bright. So let's go through the process of marking them out, drilling them out and getting them on. Perfect. That will do. Go to, I'm testing out the DJI Osmo Action 5. I've added it to the collection because I've heard only good things about it so far, especially for nighttime fishing. And I do a lot of that, especially when it comes to live bait in my local. So with this camera, hopefully if it performs super well at night, you'll be seeing a lot more live bait action, and yeah, a lot more chase and dew at night. So that'll be fun. So with our other one, we've just come 20 mil past there. So an easy one to do again. Oh, you'd be joking, the screw head just snapped off. Let me sort that. So now we got through the 3 broken screw heads, we're on. So let's go around and film putting on the anchor light. That has to go on this side, by the way. How good is that console? Starting to come together. Alrighty. So that's how that's going to go. Perfect. Let's go back to... That was our last set of stainless screws, so we're going to have to come back to this one. Luckily enough, I got to go up to Sydney for a birthday lunch right now, so we're going to finish this episode off this afternoon. Hang around, stay tuned. See you soon. Sorry about that, guys. Our birthday lunch turned into a dinner and a very busy week at work. So we're a week behind on videos, as you probably noticed. So look, we're going to keep going with the 12 volt. We have anchor light, switchboard, battery. Another thing. So on our way home from Sydney the other day, found a little Lowrance hook 2 sounder, or hook 2x4, I believe it is. That is also going to go on the boat today. So yeah, we'll wrap up all the 12 volt on the boat today and see where we're at. Keep going. See you along the way. So this video won't be as put together as the other two because 12 volt does take a long time and it is a lot of micro fiddly stuff, especially with our little tiny cables and whatnot. But left over from my last boat, I have a fair few meters of this, so this helps today. I've gone down, I've got our bigger connectors, our smaller. I like these ones. These are good because they work as heat shrink and they have a bit of solder in them, so if you heat them up enough, solders them and shrinks them together, which is great. Got all our little connections in our goodie bag here. And yeah, let's just crack on. I'll probably time lapse a lot of this and just slow it down for the more intricate parts. I made this rig the other day. This is our, got 50 amp cable to a Anderson plug, which goes through to an earth block, which then carries through. So instead of earthing all the individual wires to the main point, you just put a $13 earth block in and it gives you the accessibility to just earth everything individually, which is just perfect. So much easier. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll time lapse this one for you guys. Alright, so the easiest way for me to do this is pull these through. Cut your set length of cable, what you're going to need. Only need literally just on about 1.5 meters. And then I do have crimpers for this, but I prefer multi-grips using the back side of it because you get a lot more leverage in the grip. That's just the way I do it. There's probably better ways to do it. Definitely leave a comment on any other way you prefer to do it, just because I'm new to this. Wouldn't say I'm the greatest at it yet. But yeah, these ones are always tricky because you don't want to drill too big of a hole in the back, which means you limit how much room you've actually got to work with. We get these in here. Because I can slide my heat shrink over this after, because I won't put those terminals on, which is fine. Oh, it's giving me some grief. Oh, freaking out. Knuckles just cracked. Squeeze the life out of that. And then we're happy with that. Now just to do the negative. I'll get you a better view so you can see what I'm actually doing. I feel like the camera's nowhere near where it should be. Don't hate me, I've only got the red connectors. Like I said, I can slide my heat shrink over this. Bring that to a fine point so I can go in. Yep. It's tricky, this is a left-hand job now. Now we've got it. Where's the front one? It's a thicker cable. Back one a bit thinner. Squeeze. Oh. I know it's squeezed hard enough when my knuckles crack because putting out a bit of force. There you go. Happy with that. And then they'll just run through. We'll get another bit of plated sleeve and we'll run these through to the box. Your anchor light does have to be on a separate switch to your nav lights, so you can't just link it all as one. So when you're anchored up, you got these on. This on. When you're driving, you got the navs on. You don't want this because this is blinding. One of my boats in the past, I cooked it and I ran it all as one. And then when I was driving, just the brightness coming off this was just so distracting. So I ended up changing that. So yeah. That is the gunnel light, the nav lights, and the anchor light roughed in. I think it's time to do the sounder. Stay tuned. So I'm quite lucky in the fact this boat did have a sounder on it previously, or just a transducer with a cut cable around this height here. So I've already sickered up these holes and looks pretty much perfect. So I'm going to just screw this transducer back on, we'll run it back up through. See how we go. Always silo back over, so if you put any screws to the outside of your boat, make sure to, it is marine grade Sikaflex. Or silicone afterwards. Just go over the back of the screw, back over the fronts too, just to make sure it's all nice and watertight. Just flush with the back of the hull, back of the underside of your hull, so it doesn't drag and absolutely get destroyed. So just like our other connections, where are we? We're here. So I've just pulled through the earth on it and the active, just so the earth block's probably about 200 millimeters away from where the active is, so just got to split it a little bit to make sure it's fine. Same thing, we'll just get our little earth piece on. So all this fuse or switchboard has a fuse per switch, so no need to run an inline anywhere on this. Same thing, we'll shrink that afterwards. All right, now that's everything roughed in. Let's probably go for a time lapse while I rig everything up, neaten everything up, tidy everything up, and get all the cables up to where they need to be. All right, that's everything roughed in. Now comes the time to get everything back through where it goes. All the actives are plugged in. We don't want to make too much of a mess of this because it will annoy the crap out of me later. But I've already pretty much got the layout in my head. We should have nav lights, anchor light, gunner light, so we've got an LED light strip for inside the boat, sounder, and then empty. So that'll probably go maybe a bilge pump later. Depends on who buys the boat and what they do with it. So we just got our earth block with all our little earths there, sounder, everything. I just need, like I said, same as the front, a bit of that collated cable just to protect that running down the gunnel. And that's pretty much the 12 volt wrapped up. And then we'll do a rundown of it working. Now comes the fun part. I hate doing this. So time consuming. Oh, now it wants to work. So the second I turn the camera on, it wants to work. About 10 minutes ago, I was losing my cool. Trying to get this in the protective cable. Oh, bear with me. So that pretty much wraps up episode 4, the Tinnie series. We've gone ahead and come with me. Oh. We've got our sounder, our anchor light. I've just glued in a lot of the cables. Our console switchboard sounder. Got our nav lights. And then we have just a LED strip light for the gunnel there. We're nearly at the end. So I've just glued in all the plastic cabling for the moment, just to hold it upright. And then, yeah. I'll add in a clip at the very end tonight just to show you how bright the lights are and how everything works in the dark, because right now it's a bit bright. But yeah, final and last episode will be next week, and that will be the trailer lights and basically a breakdown run through of what everything's cost me, how it's gone, and yeah, just a good rundown. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely leave a comment if you would have done anything differently. Let me know, because in the future, I'd like to do another one, a bigger boat, maybe like a center console. And yeah, thanks, Lulu. Lucky duck, aren't I? And yeah, if you want to see some more fishing content, let me know, because got all the gear now, so I probably should. Yeah, comment what fish you'd like to see me chase, and I'll start put together episodes on what I can and can't fish for. Cheers. So here's the night reveal. That is bright enough, if you ask me. You'd almost need a frosted cover over that. How good's that? So, there you go. There you have it.